عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل أخلاقنا بالحلم واجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك. وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone today? Alhamdulillah. New setting? Okay, just for this week. Inshallah. We continue with Sarf bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So what we'll do is, I think, just for ease of like the whole between two places thing, I think you're going to be with me for the rest of the day, inshallah. What we're going to do is, we'll do some Sarf, see how long that takes us. It's mostly continuing with the dictionary work and looking at some revision of all the prior concepts that we've learned, and then inshallah we'll have a segment in which we do some tafsir, or tarjuma, translation and tafsir, etc., as you've been doing in the last period, and that will be with Surah Al-Kawthar bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's the stuff I enjoy doing. Okay, more than any of the other stuff. But anyways, Sarf, let's start with Sarf. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Just tell me quickly, what have we done this far? We learned two distinct scales, right? One was that of a past tense verb, one was that of the present tense verb. So we said there's a certain uniform set of changes that occur in a verb to change the tense of the verb. But over and above that, the whole of Sarf is about learning these uniform changes in form that cause a change in meaning, right? So we looked at how to change who was doing the action on the past tense verb. Then we learned how to change the action on a past tense verb, right? The one was changing who did the action was by changing the endings of the verbs. Changing the action was in changing the root letters of the verb. Then we did the exact same thing for the present tense, exact same thing. We learned how to change who was doing the action by learning the actual scale, and then we learned how to change the action being done by changing the root letters. In both of the scales, we said that the haraka, or the vowel on the second root letter, could change. It could either be a fatha, kasra, I, or dhamma, u. But you can't just make that up. You have to go find that out in the dictionary for now. And we saw that how a slight change in whether it's a or I or u could, drastically change the meaning of the actual verb. So last week we looked at how to actually use the dictionary, and we did some examples. We'll continue with that and look at some aspects of dictionary usage, inshallah, and a recap, and then we'll move on from there, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Right, so as we always do, Bismillah, go for it. Fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna. Okay, present tense scale, go for it. يفعل يفعلون تفعل يفعلن تفعل تفعلون تفعلين تفعلن أفعل نفعل. Okay, let's do the past tense and present tense of Fataha. Let's let the ladies do this one. Bismillah. Fataha, ladies. Fatahtu, fatahna. Right. In the present tense? Yaftahu, yaftahuna. I think the volume went a little bit more lower with the present tense. So, okay, guys, let's see if we can do any better. Daraba. And the present tense? Somebody, yeah, good. Alhamdulillah. Nasara, everybody, let's do present tense and past tense of Nasara. Nasara, Nasarna, Nasarta, Nasartum, Nasarti, Nasartunna, Nasartu, Nasarna. Present tense. Yansuru, Yansuruna, Tansuru, Yansurna, Tansuru, Tansuruna, Tansurina, Tansurna, Ansuru, Nansuru. Sami'a, Sami'na, Sami'ta, Sami'tum, Sami'ti, Sami'tunna, Sami'tu, Sami'na. Present tense. Yasma'u, Yasma'u, Yasma'una, Tasma'u, Yasma'na, Tasma'u, Tasma'una, Tasma'ina, Tasma'na, Asma'u, Asma'u. Yeah, if you think I'm torturing you, imagine I did this for like 8 years. Yeah, it's torturous. Let's go again. Hasiba, Hasibta, Hasibtum, Hasibti, Hasibtunna, Hasibtu, Hasibna. Present tense. Yahsibu, Nahsib. Alright, this way. And then the last one. Karuma, Karuma, Karumu, Karumat, Karumna, Karumta, Karumtum, Karumti, Karumtunna, Karumtu, Karumna. Present tense. Yakrumu, Yakrumuna, Takrumu, Yakrumna, Takrumu, Takrumuna, Takrumina, Takrumna, Akrumu, Nakrumu. Right. So inshallah, that's going to stick in your brains. Right, okay. Then last week, just quick recap. What we said is, we learnt in all of those verb forms that we did. فَعَلَ ضَرَبَ فَتَحَ سَمِعَ نَصَرَ كَرُمَ. And that last one there is, I think, hasiba. Right? We learnt in those verbs every possible combination of past tense and present tense middle letter haraka combination. Right? So with this middle of the past tense and a in the middle of the present tense. Fataha, yaftahu. And then where there's a fatha in the middle of the past tense, but a kasra in the middle of the present tense. Daraba, yadribu. And then where there's a fatha in the past tense, but a dhamma in the present tense. Nasara, yansuru. Or when we have a kasra in the past tense, but a fatha in the present tense. Sami'a, yasma'u. And then kasra in the past tense, kasra in the present tense. Hasiba, yahsibu. And lastly, a dhamma in the past tense. We always have a dhamma in the present tense. So we had the karuma, yakrumu. And those are essentially all of the possible combinations that we can have. Right? You never have a dhamma in the past tense with a fatha or kasra in the present tense. It will always be a dhamma in the present tense. Or you'll never have a kasra in the past tense with a dhamma in the present tense. If it's a kasra in the past tense, we'll either have a fatha or a kasra. But the fatha will have any other combination. The question was, how do we find that? We have to, and we use the example of ba'uda. What is it? What is this guy now again? Ba'uda yab. Well, I just told you if it starts with if there's a dhamma in the past tense, it has to have a dhamma in the present tense. So ba'uda yab, udu. Right, and the same for the present tense. We had sabara, and the present tense was yes, biru, and ba'uda was yab udu. Remind me, how do we use the dictionary? First thing is we know that it's based on the root letters, right? And the root letters are arranged according to alphabetical order. What was that alphabetical order? Hamza, remember not alif, right? What's a alif? What is a alif? It's when you only that letter that you're using as a pulling sound. But when it's actually a what do you call it? Hamza. There's different types of hamzas also, but we leave that for another time. For now, hamza, right? It's a hamza, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, dal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, da, ain, ghin, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, and then it's ha, wow, ya. It the end. So, and that's something you must get into your brains, right? The next thing is also, how we use a dictionary? We first identify the root letters. We find those root letters in the dictionary. The first word with that set of root letters will be your fi'al, right? And then next to it, we find the transliteration, the word spelt out in Roman letters. That tells me how to say the past tense. Next to it, I see a I or U or A. That tells me how to say it just tells me the middle haraka on the present tense. Right, and that's basically how we use the dictionary. So these are the examples we did last time. I'm just skipping through that. But I want you to do some examples for me to get it clear. So just in your groups, using your dictionaries to check if we can find all of these things. What I want you to do is find the past and present tenses of these words. Fa, ra, ha, jim, ain, lam, sin, ra, ain, and qaf, ba, lam. So quickly, check it for me. What are you going to do? I want you to find out how do you say the past tense, how do you say the present tense, and if you want, you can just give me one meaning. Quickly. Yeah, if you're in a group, each one can just take one word and then you find them for me. Question? Excuse me? After the transliteration, it will have an I, or just look over here, I'm going to show you the example. So there we have khalaqa, right? It has the past tense spelled out, and next to it, I have an I, or U, or A. That tells me the haraka on the middle root letter of the present tense. So that one will be U. So it's going to be khalaqa yakhluqu, because there's a U there. For example, if you look at this one, ba'uda, it also has a U there, so I know it's going to be yab'udu. What other example? I have sabara, there's an I over here, so I know it's going to be yasbiru. Perfect. And if it's an A, then it will mean that is a fatha there. Because the only part of the scale that's variable is that haraka on the middle letter. Right, so if I just go a bit back here quickly, we concluded that this is how our scale looks, everything that's fixed. The only thing that's variable is the haraka there. Everything else must stay the same. Right? Good. Let me just see something. Can I just turn this thing a little bit? All right, let's check the words that we had now. The first one was fa, ra, ha. Right, those were the letters. So you should have found this in your dictionary. So what's it? Fariha. And present tense? Yaf. This is something that I saw now people ask. Fariha yafra hu. Fariha yafra hu. How do I know that the end must have a u? Because it's part of the scale. The only thing that changes, or the only thing that we're looking for in the dictionary is the haraka on the middle root letter. Right? On the middle root letter. Just to be happy, right? Okay, what is the next one? Ja'ala. Oh, yeah, why did I say it now? What's it? It was? Ja'ala. Present tense was? Yaj'alu. Ja'ala yaj'alu. It means to make or put or place. Tell me, what is that word? Just remind me quickly. That word in the brackets. Just after the A, you have that word in the brackets. What's that? How would you say it firstly? Ja'alun. Ja'alun. Is it the ism fi'al or harf? It's an ism, right? But what's the significance? Why is that word there in brackets? This one over here. Let me just. This thing there in brackets next to the A. What did I say? What was that word? I said it's called what we call the masdar. Masdar means like the root, the place of origin, or the place of emission. Its purpose. It is the noun from which this verb gets its meaning. It's the noun from which this verb gets its meaning. And how you translate it is like you just put ing at the end of it. So what do you think this word ja'alun will mean? Making. Or it's in English it's oftentimes referred to either as the infinitive or it's referred to as the gerund. G-E-R-U-N-D. Simple understanding, it's the root word. And when we spoke about the root letters, the letters from which the word gets its meaning. Now this is the word from which the verb gets its meaning. Right? Okay. So we had fariha yafrahu, we had ja'ala yaj'alu. What is the next one? Saru'a and? What did I mess the thing up now? Saru'a. And the present tense? Saru'a and yes. Ru'u. Saru'a. Yes, ru'u. And you can see this one has a number of root words. Sira'un, sara'un, sur'atun. What does saru'a yasru'u mean? To be? To be quick, to be fast. Okay. And the last one. What's the last one? What's this one? What's it? Qabila yaqbalu. Right. Qabila yaqbalu. And the root word is either qabulun or qubulun. What does it mean to? To accept something or to receive something. Okay. Is that the end of it? But now you remember what I told you last time. Where do you read until when you want to check the thing properly? You read until you find the next Roman numeral. Can you remember that? I said you maybe find it 2II or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it may be. So, let's carry on reading Qabila. If you have a physical dictionary, you might have to turn over to the next page. Carry on reading Qabila until you get to the, let's see where that Roman numeral, you see there's a Roman numeral 2 there. You see? There's a 2. Right, so let's carry on reading. Coming to allow, to make possible, blah 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 blah. Command, and then we come to this here, dash. What does it say there? Qabila. That says Qabila, and then there's an A next to it, so that means Qabila yaqbalu. And what's the next thing here? Qabala yaqbulu. But now there's a U and a I. So that means you can say it qabala yaqbulu or qabala yaqbilu. And then it will mean what? To guarantee, to vouch, to be a surety for something. Okay, and then there's not another one up until we get to the Roman numeral 2. So what are we saying there? What does that mean in terms of my understanding of the dictionary? That this word can be said a number of ways. I can either say qabila yaqbalu, and if I use it if in the form qabila yaqbalu, it will mean to accept and a host of other things. But if I say qabala yaqbilu or qabala yaqbulu, then it will mean to stand surety or to be a guarantee for something. A different meaning altogether. Right? Why I gave you this example is just so that you can see that the last point that we learned, that one set of root letters can have two or more distinct sets of meanings. Right? And you'll see what's different. The root word is different. See here. If we look there by the second qabila yaqbalu and qabala yaqbulu or qabala yaqbilu, what's the root word here? What's it? Qabalatun. So that word qabala means standing surety. So because of that root noun, this word gets its meaning to stand surety. If I go before this, to the page before this, to the other meaning of qabila, you'll see it will have a different root noun or different root word. See there, it's qabul or qubul. So it's a different root noun, and that's why it has a different meaning. Question? I think the thing is that you have a masdar, word, a noun, and the verb gets its meaning therefrom. So the verb is derived from the noun. Right? Okay. Before I close this dictionary thing, are there any questions there? Let's see what's going on here. Let's just put that there. Okay. Any questions? You kind of know how to find verbs in the dictionary. Right. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Then just for Okay, maybe I should pull that thing back up. Just so that you know, if you want to explain. Afterwards, after the verb, you're going to find a whole host of nouns. Let's give me one word that you want to know about. Let's take shouldn't be that hard. Anything. Fariha. Somebody got some memories, eh? Let me just see something too. Falaka doesn't mean what you think it means. Let's take Fariha. Let's just go with Fariha. So if I look at that's where did it start now? I said the first word is going to be the verb, right? And that passage, just that one passage with the first set of root letters, that is going to deal with all the different verbs that can be derived from this root letters. Right? When we looked at it, we stopped looking when we got to the first Roman numeral, right? When we got to a 2, for example, we said, okay, that's where for all our intents and purposes now, we stop. But inshallah, we're going to learn more Sarf, such that we can deal with what comes after the 2. And after 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and even more for some of them, right? But for now, we stop at the 2. However, this first paragraph, or related to this first set of root letters, all of that just deals with the verb. Once I move on to the next paragraph, I'm going to be dealing with nouns. Right? So for example, the first noun after that will be the root noun. You see there? I have farah, farahun. And the first noun that it deals with is that word farahun. Can you see that? Farahun. The first noun in the next paragraph is that word farahun. Where's my pointer now? So I have here, my root noun is farahun, and then it deals with farahun. So farah means joy, gladness, glee, hilarity, mirth. Okay, that's getting wedding, it can refer to as well, happiness, rejoicing, etc. And you move on. You have the word farhatun, also means joy. Farihun, merry, gay, cheerful. Intia, gay, happy, not other gay. That farhan also means somebody that's a cheerful person. Mafarih, feasts or events of joy. Tafrih, amusement, or it will oftentimes mean to make someone else happy. Farih is a person that's cheerful. A mufrih is a person that cheers up other people. So all of those are nouns that get derived from the verb form again. Yeah, we'll look at that in another time. So just what did I want to point out to you? The first paragraph deals with what? The verb. For now, we're just focusing until we get to the first, right? But even after that Roman numeral, till the end of the paragraph, it's still dealing with different verb forms. We just haven't learnt those verb forms yet, right? Then after that paragraph, we start to just deal with a whole lot of different nouns. Different types of nouns. Sometimes then it's going to be an infinitive. Sometimes it's going to be a collective noun. Sometimes it's going to be a active particle. Sometimes it's going to be a passive particle. Sometimes it's going to be just adjective. For example, you're going to find just different I mean, in English we call them all those names. In Arabic you just call it all of those are called asma. Ism, all of those are isms. Right? Isms is a very bad word to use, but just so that all of those are asma. The first one is a fi'al, and all of the rest are asma. Right? So that's kind of how you use a dictionary. Okay, so now we move on from there, inshallah. Okay, so that is essentially, that's the first part of Sarf done. We learned, I told you at the beginning that there's two extremely important skills. The rest of Sarf is just building on those skills. So for example, I know how to say he did, and he is doing. He helped, he is helping, we helped, we are helping. We know how to say all of those things. We know how to find out for ourselves what different roots mean. We can go to our dictionary, we can find those meanings. The rest of it, it's merely adapting that meaning slightly. How do I say he didn't do? How do I say, instead of saying he did, now we're just very accusatory. What if I want to say he didn't do it? Or more importantly, I didn't do it. Right? How do we learn how to do those things? So we'll cover that in due course, inshallah. But all of them are just very, very slight changes, not even changes of the verb forms. Those verb forms stay almost the same. It's just adding something before it or something like that. So if you have those first two skills down, the rest of Sarf should be pretty easy. Insha'Allah. We'll cover the Sarf in stages though, after this. We'll look at negating verbs. We'll look at using a verb but in a passive form without mentioning the doer. For example, in all of the verbs that we've learned thus far, the doer is always mentioned, right? I always know it's either him or her or them or they two males or they two females. Okay, we didn't do twos, but or you or I, we. It's always mentioned. But what if I just want to say this person was helped? I don't want to say who helped him. So we'll learn how to put the verb into a passive form as well. And then we'll learn how to command and prohibit as well. I know how to say he helped, but how do I say to somebody, help? Or I know how to say he hit, how do I say to somebody, don't hit? Right? So those are all ideas or concepts that we will learn in Sarf as well. And they, alhamdulillah, all just small adaptations of these skills that we've learned thus far. So if you have these two skills down, that's why I always emphasize. If you want Sarf to be easy for you, and that's why we repeated those skills so many times. Because that forms the basis of Sarf. If you have that, inshallah, Sarf becomes a lot easier. Okay, cool. Right. So what I wanted to do now is, just because some people, we did the rote means of learning via scales, but I just wanted to put it in a conceptual form for people that like to learn conceptually more than they do through rote learning. Right? So just a recap of things quickly. We said we're dealing with Sarf, and Sarf is about how verbs change. We had the fi'al madi, al-fi'al al-madi and al-fi'al al-mudari', the past tense verb and the present tense verb. So I just put together this little table. This is between them. Right? So how do I identify, if I see a verb, how do I very quickly identify whether this verb is past tense or present tense? So first thing I must be able to do is I must be able to identify the form of the word. Right? So a quick way of doing that is that the past tense doesn't have anything attached to the beginning. The past tense doesn't have, isn't it so? Fa'ala, it starts with the root letter. The present tense, it does have something attached at the beginning, right? And once my wife was telling me, you can summarize it as tiny. I don't know how on earth they got to that, but I think it's ta, hamza, noon, yeah. Should be ta'ni. But okay. Ta, hamza, noon, yeah. Because it's either it's yaf'alu, or taf'alu, or af'alu, naf'alu. The other forms is yaf'aluna, yaf'alna, taf'aluna, taf'alna. There's always a ya, ta, hamza, or noon at the beginning. Right? So if you want to, you can use the thing tiny. And it's actually nice because the verb hasn't reached completion yet also. And it's still arriving, developing, still tiny. Second thing is you must know the, so quick way is that's just identifying without knowing much. I can just identify when one is past or present. If the one starts immediately with the root letter, past. If it starts with one of these letters, ya, ta, hamza, or noon, then it's present tense. Right. Next thing that I need to know importantly is I need to know the form. So that's what I have there. Fa, one of the harakat on it, plus la. Present tense, yaf. Ayn with one of the harakat on it, plus lu. Yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu. Past tense, fa'ala, fa'ila, fa'ula. One of those. The second thing that you always need to know with the verb is you need to know how to identify the doer. How do you identify the doer? You look at the end. Right? So what are the potentials that I have there? Either there's going to be a waw at the end, which is for plural, masculine plural usually. If there's a waw at the end, it's for masculine plural. Fa'alu. Okay, just leave out the alif. It is also one of the things, but that's for duals, which we're not doing. Or it has a ta. After the root letters, it has a ta. Some form of ta. Either it's going to be fa'alat, or fa'altu, or fa'alta, or fa'alti, or fa'altunna, or fa'altum. But there's a ta there after the root letters. And the last one is, it could have a na. I missed that one actually, it should also be a short noon, na. Let me just put that there quickly. Okay, this is just starting to look worse and worse. Sorry about that, okay. And then at the end, or nu, or na, or na, or waw. The present tense either has a una, yaf'aluna, taf'aluna, or ina, taf'alina, or just a short noon, yaf'alna or taf'alna. The last thing is how to change action. You change the 3 root letters, and then we have note that the second root letter can change, like Nasara Yansuru and Sami'a and Yakrumu, etc. So I'm just going to go through this again. Why I actually put this table together? I put the table together so that you must know all of the concepts that you need to know in relation to a past tense verb. You need to know how to identify whether a verb is past or present tense. Quick way of doing that: if there's tiny at the beginning, it's present. If not, it's past. Then I need to know the form. Fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila. I need to know the form of the present tense. Yaf'alu, yaf'ulu, yaf'ilu. One of those forms. I need to be able to identify who's doing the action. Where do I look? I look at the end. Either there's a waw there in the past tense, it's masculine plural, or there's a short noon at the end, na, it's a feminine plural, or there's a ta, the ta takes on a whole lot of different forms, or there's a na, which means we. In the present tense, either there will be a una, which is masculine plural, or a na, which is feminine plural, or a ina, which is singular feminine. Right? Taf'alina, singular feminine. You can just check that in relation to your scales afterwards if you just want to clarify that. And the last thing is, you must know how to change the action being done by changing the root letters. So a summary of that is, whenever we come across a verb, for now, whenever we come across a verb in the Quran, in a context, in a reader, wherever it is, I must be able to ask you 3 questions. I should be able to ask you 3 questions, and you should be able to give me the answer. The 3 questions is this verb past tense or present tense? Right? I should ask you, who is doing the action? Who is doing the action? And lastly, I should be able to ask you, what is that person doing? That's of least importance, what the actual action is. But in terms of our sarf, it's past tense or present tense, when was it done, who did it, and what did they do? So whenever we come across a verb, I'm going to ask you that. Right? When, who, what. And that's what we should have learnt in sarf up until now. How those changes look in terms of forms of verbs. Any questions? No. Okay, so what I need you to do for homework then is this. You have 2 sheets. Look at exercise number 6. Simple. What we've been doing all the time. I just need you to translate the Arabic into English. But now we're going to be engaging all of those different concepts that we learned in sarf. So there's both past tense and present tense verbs in here. There's both past tense and present tense verbs in here. There's all different types of people doing the action. You, them, all of them are included. And in addition to that, there's a whole lot of different root letters that we haven't covered in class necessarily. So how are you going to find the meanings of those verbs? You're going to use your dictionary. For example, I have here taz or tarzuqna. Tarzuqna. Okay, now maybe you know that one already because you know what rizq. Because you know what rizq is, or you might have heard the word rizq. But essentially what you're going to need to do is engage all of the things that we learned in sarf thus far, all the different types of, looking at past tense, present tense, looking at different doers, and looking at different meanings, ones that we even haven't learnt yet. Right? And I think hopefully this experience of exploring, using your dictionary will show you now, alhamdulillah, that you are able to understand some Arabic even without somebody else helping you. Okay, still a dictionary helping you, but still essentially doing it on your own, inshallah. The second one was, this was just more of the same of what we did for the past 2 weeks. So actually I want you to, if you look at, there's a column that says meaning, and then 2 columns after that. Just put an X above those columns. I want you to ignore them for now. Right? Ignore them for now. Next to meaning, these 2 columns. Not first 2. After meaning, after word meaning, these 2 columns here next to it. Don't worry about that. So what you need to do in the other 2 columns here, there's a number in the columns here. That's telling you no. That actually tells you how many times that verb form appears in the Quran. How many times that root appears in the Quran. So okay, there's nothing for you to do there. What I need you to do is just find for me, or write down for me, the present tense forms of those verbs. Just write down the present tense forms. So for example, fataha, you already know that one. Fa'ala, you already know that one. Ja'ala, we learned today, you know that one. Ba'atha is a new one that you're going to learn, inshallah. So you just fold it out for me. You might want to do this one first, before you do this one, because many of the verbs that are on here are on here. Right, okay. That's it for Sarf.